Welcome back to the Build Bros, day 6, 7, 8, one of those, something like that. We're back. I'm Javier.
Daniel.
And we're finally picking up where we left off yesterday. Yesterday we were trying to get out the drive shaft bearing, and finally, yay, it's out. So and there was no real too many crazy complications with it. Today we're going to be working with the collar nut for the transmission so we can replace those seals.
So I think we unsuccessfully tried a 6-point socket and a 12-point socket. I think the idea is that it needs to be a thin wall socket, but we couldn't find one locally that was thin enough. I think you read on a couple forums, a couple brands, and I think where you could normally find something that potentially could work, but in this case it just didn't work. So we're going with plan B, which is we're grinding this thing. So hopefully we'll make it a lot thinner than it is currently. So I know it's kind of hard to see there, but hopefully we'll show you the finished product. So I brought a bench grinder to go ahead and kind of reduce the wall size on the socket and make this work.
Yeah, hopefully we can just get that thing to lock in and tear that freaking nut out.
All right, stick around. All right, everybody. So it looks like we ground down, by the way, success. It looks like we ground down about maybe, I don't know, it looks like a millimeter or so, from the wall. So I just kind of did the section that's going to fall in, it needs to drop down a little bit further. I didn't need to do the whole socket, so it's just kind of, it tapers, if you look at it, it kind of tapers a little bit, and that was just enough to kind of get that going. So hopefully our socket is structurally sound and it holds up, so we're going to go ahead and try that out. Stick around.
All right, so the next thing we're looking to tackle is the rear output flange seal here. I've read that obviously every time that you're putting a new transmission, you should replace this seal and also this seal towards the input spline. I think that's what it's called. So those two seals, I'm going to see if I can go ahead and get an impact gun to get this bolt out and get that seal out. And also on tap for today is also finally joining the two drive shafts. So get our new center bearing there and actually line these up again. Apparently something I had read in the forums is that they both have some marks, some factory marks. So as long as you line those up, then you know that it'll retain the factory balancing and everything. So that's on tap for, I guess, the next, hopefully for today at some point.
Success.
You want to start? Dang. Sorry.
It's all you.
All right, we're going. Start. Wait, one more time. Go.
Okay.
All right, guys, we're back. All the transmission seals have been put in. We had a little mishap with the seals. We went to put in the input shaft one when it all cocked, and since there's barely any space, we literally had to drill it out. And that was, it hurts me because I like to put all my OEM seals back, and I was either forced to either wait few days and order the OEM one, or what we ran up to Advance and picked up a couple of seals, which I actually ended up liking because they were a little bit longer, deeper than the original ones, right? And it's funny because the original one went in sideways because there's barely any rubber on the side, and it allows kind of to play a little bit. So with the new one, it was actually deeper and actually sat a little bit better, and we were able to kind of hammer it around and get it seated into the proper space. So, but yeah, so our transmission, all the seals are finally done. We are ready to bolt that up whenever we get to that step. All right. So, but now we're at the drive shaft step.
There you go. So try saying that 3 times fast. So yeah, so we've got our lovely drive shaft here. I don't know if you want to raise that up. So we basically have to put this collar all the way down here at the bottom. So what we're going to do is just make sure that we drive it down a little bit, so that way there's not much of a gap. And then we put this little thingy back on, which holds your bearing. And I know that I think we have to drive it down about yay far. And I think there's a circlip also that goes around on top of
there's
that.
a dust cover right here, which we still have on the bag.
Right.
So we'll put the dust cover. Once we do the dust cover, then there's a circlip right here. We'll put in the clip, and then we're ready to attach the new front end of the drive shaft.
All right. So stick around.
Okay, so I just wanted to give a quick update here. I went ahead and installed the center bearing here, as you can see here. One of the things I realized when I was putting this back was that the dust cap here, hold on, gotta get a better angle here. Yes, the dust cap here has a little snap ring around it, as you may be able to see. But originally, I had the snap ring behind the dust cover, so I spent years looking for a weird little rattle noise that I couldn't quite identify, and I'm 99% sure that was it. So, this is kind of nice to do these projects. You realize all these little noises that were bothering you. You didn't know where the heck they were coming from. So everything's installed here. Here's the new front end section of the drive shaft. So quite a bit longer, as I showed before. This right here is going to be the alignment mark that it's going to align to, where is it? There it is, right there. Okay, hopefully what's under the car. So it's going to go kind of like this on the V shape, and then when we push it in, it'll compress the spline, and then we're able to lock it in. So for now, as weird as it may sound, it's actually done. So when we're under the car, then we'll be able to tighten this up to the and press it into the right location where it needs to go. All right. Okay, so one more thing I wanted to point out, and I almost feel like I'm purposely avoiding the essential swap parts here. Like, we should be going for the flywheel and getting all the clutch installed, but I really want to share that with Danny when he comes by, so I'm trying to get all the other stuff done. As you can see here, I'm trying to take off the rear sway bar. We're going to need to take off, since remember, we're also replacing this diff right here. You can see it, hopefully. You may not be able to see it there. Okay. Anyway, but hopefully once we remove this sway bar, we'll clear all the obstacles that are stopping us from dropping this diff. And while I'm at it, I'm also going to replace these really worn end links here. I don't think you might be able to see that. There they are. There, these end links right here. They're very worn. I had given up on them a few years ago. I have the replacement end links, but for some reason I never was able to get them out. I think I may be able to have good luck now. So hopefully, I mean, these are real simple. Just a matter of taking that bolt out, and then from here they'll unhook right there. There's like another little bolt right there. You may be able to see. Yeah, and it drops out really nicely. So hopefully once this is out, then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna see if I'm able to loosen up these diff bolts right here. And again, these are the E12 sockets. I believe they're E12. So we should be able to drop down the half shafts and tie them up so they don't fall out, but at least clear up some room so we can work on the diff. Okay, so this is the rear sway bar. One of the things that I wanted to point out was that originally I always thought, oh yeah, I'm just gonna be able to pull this, end link off, no problem. And that's where I gave up last time. That's why, these are the 22-year-old end links there, and I've never been able to replace it. The bushings right here, no problem, easy. They'll go in really nicely. And those have been replaced. I think last year I replaced those. But right here, what I'm gonna try to do is see if I can get a. I put some PV blaster, and then I'm gonna see if I can get a 3-jaw puller to be able to pull that in. So we'll see. So I figured I'd do a quick little update here. I went ahead and took off the rear end links here. So I used a 3-jaw puller and pressed them out. The problem was that I didn't know how to get these back in. So I'm thinking, wow, the jaw puller was amazing and it can pull them out. But I thought I had to find a vise, put them in to put these back in. What surprised me, I ran into a posting online that somebody said all they had to do was use silicone grease. So I ran out, got me some silicone grease, and oh my God, that thing just, I was surprised how quickly they slid in. Honestly, I was trying everything. I tried lithium grease, I tried regular grease, nothing would work. But with silicone grease, man, this thing literally just pushed in with barely any effort. It was the weirdest thing. I'm so surprised that that worked that way. So obviously, here's our sway bar, rear sway wire completely done. And it only took about 5 minutes after I found the silicone grease. So that's just a quick tip for you guys.